crunch, bring it back, single leg sweep. Let me teach you how to wrestle. Okay. Let me teach you how to wrestle.
And welcome back to Wrestling Mindset. Today we're here with All-American Dustin Plott. Dustin, thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me. I appreciate it.
Absolutely. And you're in Oklahoma right now.
Yeah.
All right. You probably didn't feel the earthquake over there. New Jersey, New York had a little earthquake. I don't think it made it all the way down there.
No, I didn't feel anything. So was it a pretty bad one?
No. It was just we all felt the shake for like, I don't know, 10 seconds or whatever. But
Oh,
New
okay.
Jersey doesn't have like crazy weather or anything, so it was a big deal. It was all over everyone's newsfeed, you know.
Oh, big event. We
Yeah,
got we got
it
tornadoes right now, so it's a little hectic
puts
down here.
puts the minor earthquake into perspective, all Jersey, New York people, and Pennsylvania people. Good stuff. Good stuff. Yeah. So I guess let's take it from the NCAAs. Talk about the tournament, how you felt, just everything.
Yeah, tournament was good. I competed I think at a level that was higher than I had the rest of the year. Got a lot of bonus points, scored a lot of points, so that was great. Obviously came up a little short in the finals, but great competitor, great wrestler, and back to the drawing board on that one. So
Absolutely. And how do you feel like you managed your energy throughout a long tournament? Because when you're in the finals, it's a few matches, a few very tough matches, of course, but
yeah,
then there's a lot of waiting around. Talk about that
yeah,
mentally and emotionally.
yeah. I'd say age definitely helped me out. I've been there quite a few times, and I know as I go back, it's kind of less nerve wracking, less unexpected. National tournament, the most important match is the match that you have because you never know who you're going to have the next round. So for me, I just really dialed in on what I wanted to accomplish each match, who I wanted to be each match, and not look ahead or to the next match or the next day or just one match at a time.
Awesome. And I like what you said there about who you wanted to be each match. Talk about that a little bit. Is that related to not getting too caught up in the outcome, more the way you want to perform?
Yeah, that's exactly what it's tied to. I'm very faithful, so I just think in terms of competing the way God designed me to compete. And for me, that's wrestling hard, trying to score points, and just competing wholeheartedly, leaving everything that I have out there, everything that I train. And at the end of the match, I don't want to think back and be like, man, I wish I would have gone for this move, or I wish I would have done this. I would rather look back and be like, yeah, I may have took too many risks, but in my head at the time, that was the best decision to do, and that's the way I trained. So kind of let it fly.
Absolutely. And faith puts all that into perspective. Obviously, number one, because it's the right thing. And then also there's not that we're doing it for the natural benefits, but the natural benefits, it puts things into perspective. But obviously
Yeah.
knowing that that's not what it's all about. It's having the most important thing in our lives. Has your faith always been big for you in your life?
Yes, sir, it has, and that's exactly right. I just try to go where God leads me to be, and right now I'm very glad it's in the sport of wrestling because I really enjoy wrestling. And kind of like I said, I just try to be the competitor He designed me to be, the teammate, the friend, uh, boyfriend, the brother, just in all my roles, just trying to be the best version of myself and knowing my faith is above everything else. Wrestling is something I do, but it's not who I am. And at the end of the day, my family and friends, they have my back if I never step on a mat again. So I have a great group around me.
Absolutely. Talk about the environment in Oklahoma State, the impact the coaches have had on you, your teammates.
Yeah, Oklahoma State, it's been tremendous. I always say I never really thought I'd make it this far just because growing up watching Oklahoma State wrestling, that was always like, that was the mecca growing up in
Right.
Oklahoma. And I made it here and I'm getting to compete. So I'm super grateful. I love the university. I love all my coaches and teammates. My coaches have done a tremendous job honing me in into the athlete that I need to be and helping to develop me. And my teammates, we're all brothers. We got each other's back. We're all super close, and it's real motivating to see, especially young guys going out and stepping up all year long, see them do their job. And then for me, I'm like, okay, if these young guys are doing it, yeah, I better step up and perform too because they're kind of setting the example. So it was a great year in that regard.
Absolutely. At what wrestling club did you go to growing up, or what environment did you train in? Middle school, high school?
Yeah, I bounced around quite a bit. Clubs in Oklahoma weren't real big. when I was real young, but Hardell Moore started OWA, and then I went there Little League quite a bit and into junior high and high school. And then in high school, I trained with Tyrone Lewis. He had a club called, I think it's Tyronuk, but trained there, those two a lot, and both very great guys. Hardell Moore has been really big in the development of me as a wrestler, but also as a man. He's always preached, perspective, and it's a lot more than just wrestling and developing kids into men. And the impact that he's had on my career has been tremendous.
That's great. What age did you start wrestling?
I started at 4. So my dad wrestled for a couple years in high school, and him and my uncle got together and started a little league program at my local school. And so that's where I started off wrestling, and eventually started broadening out and going to Hardell and going different places and training, but started at Blanchard, trained there through Little League, and then 8th grade year I transferred to Tuttle, and that's where I continued to wrestle in high school and had phenomenal coaches there, phenomenal teams as well, and I've really been blessed to be surrounded by a lot of great people.
Absolutely. Now talk about you've done a lot of freestyle. You've been on were you U23, U20s?
Yeah, U23.
Awesome. Talk about that experience and how you feel like freestyle has helped your scholastic.
Yeah, freestyle has helped me a lot in collegiate. I actually started finding a turn this year, kind of like a Turk, but it was almost off like a leg lace variation. And it was just a position that I trained in freestyle to get into. And then I started noticing folk style when I was finishing takedowns, there's an opportunity for a turn. Really helped me out there. And a couple different technical examples where it's helped me out. That, and I think just competing all summer, having a competition to look forward to, staying in the room, staying hungry, and going to competitions to kind of expose flaws or areas I need to work on, I think has been huge.
What are some of the biggest mindset lessons or things that you started to do, anything throughout your wrestling career that have helped you wrestle more free and bring out your best? Whether it be things to keep you calm, to be confident, to, like you said, being aggressive, to throw the kitchen sink at the guy.
Yeah, mindset's something that is really taken me to the next level. I think it was my second year in college. I wasn't in a great place. I was starting to attach kind of my identity to wrestling. It was just kind of in a slump, and spiritually had to get back right, but also mentally too, because it's like I got in a slump and I kind of forgot who I was as a wrestler. Am I supposed to be defensive? Am I supposed to be shooting?
The time is now to take your mindset to the next level with Wrestling Mindset. Make sure you go to our website, wrestlingmindset.com, and sign up for your free trial session today. Don't wait any longer. You want the mental edge right now. When you sign up for the free trial session, you're also going to get a copy of our free ebook, Building the Predator Mindset. This book has helped thousands of people build confidence, relax under pressure, get motivated, and build mental toughness in wrestling, school, and life. Make sure you sign up for your free trial session today.
And so for me, setting goals every day as far as what I want to work on, and setting goals every match as far as how I want to compete, how I want to wrestle, who I am, have really helped me hone in on using my God-given ability the best that I can. And I would say one kind of funny thing I started doing was I'm a big candy fan. And so a lot of times at wrestling tournaments, I always have gummy worms or something in my bag. And to me, it just kind of seems out of place. Like, wrestling's supposed to be this big, serious event. And whenever I'm warming up, getting ready for my match, I always grab a couple gummy worms just to kind of get me back into the, I don't know, kind of a relaxed mind space that it's not this big, serious thing. I'm going to use my God-given abilities and compete hard, and it's going to be a good time. And so the gummy worms kind of help me get there.
I love it. And no doubt that'll be an example I use for years to come. We always talk about having, like in your pre-match routine, something you do to make you smile and laugh, not take yourself so serious. We call it having an element of fun. And that's a great one right there, where you keep it but exactly like you said, where it's supposed to be this big serious thing, but you're doing something strategically to remind yourself to let go.
Yeah. And it's I started seeing sports psychologists is kind of where I got a lot of these ideas from. Dr. Leaf, he's been he's been a great help to my career, and really, really been a blessing.
Oh, that's great. What are some other good things you've learned from him?
So I do really well with the schedule. I like having a schedule. That's this time off after nationals kind of gets me anxious, just because if I don't have a routine, I can get lost sometimes. And so I schedule quite a bit of stuff. I'm always writing stuff down as far as what I'm doing during the week, and then practices, what goals I'm setting, what I'm getting better at. And then I also started doing some visualization skills, putting pen to paper, writing stuff down, how I see the match going, different outcomes, different scenarios. Wrestling is an amazing sport because it can turn at any time. So, I could be up by 7, I could be down by 7. So having all those written out on pen and paper before my match, I think allows me to compete free, because I know whatever situation I end up in, I've already thought of and gone through what I need to do to be successful. So it really allows me just to go compete wholehearted and let it fly.
Right. And one of the things you said before, maybe it was a couple minutes ago now at this point, but you were saying about evaluating yourself based on your performance, not necessarily on the outcome.
Yeah.
Talk about that a little bit, because that's huge.
Yeah.
Talk about what that looks like, maybe a little bit more tangibly, practically, when like you could win, but maybe you didn't feel like you performed so well, or you might not win, or you don't win by as large of a margin as you wanted to, but yet you still feel like you did perform well. And, you have other people in your life, maybe teammates, friends, even coaches or family, who said, hey, great job because you won, but hey, maybe that wasn't the way I wanted to perform, or vice versa.
Yeah. Yeah. I think Coach Smith is really great about it. I think some of the biggest butt chewings I've had in college were after wins. And, it's really benefited me because he's wanting me to perform. He doesn't care about the win or loss. But if I go out there and I get after the guy and compete hard, he's not going to chew me out. But I've had a couple wins definitely early on in my career, walk off the mat, and I'm kind of happy. I'm like, shoot, I won a college match. And he's chewing me out for it, but it's really been great. And evaluating on performance rather than outcomes, it's a lot easier said than done, because of course we're all competitors, and
Sure.
oftentimes it's hard to say, okay, I competed well, but I lost. What do I need to fix? Where do I need to get better? Not use any, oh, he got lucky, or if I'd have done this, because it's not real. Going out just worried about performing is huge.
Absolutely. And would Coach Smith would he let you have it as soon as you walked off the mat, or he give you a little bit of time?
It just depends on his mood, I think. Sometimes right after, sometimes it'd be in the after the duel when we meet as a team, or it could be at practice the following week. But it was always really productive and really great to never get too high, never get too low. Big wins, you got stuff to work on. Bad loss, you still got stuff to work on. So Monday always comes, and practice is always going to be at 3. So that's one thing great.
That's right. That's right. And talk about that a little. I know I asked before about Oklahoma State, but just the aspect that this is the legendary program of all
Yeah.
of college wrestling, basically. And you got, coaches, wrestlers, people in that room that are, the best American wrestlers ever, and coaches. Talk about how that helps you elevate your mentality by being around people who are the best. Like what kind of confidence that gives you, and what are like other mental edges that might bring.
Yeah, I think you see it with all walks of life. Who you're around is who you become, and so being around a lot of great wrestlers and great coaches, it's contagious. Positive attitudes, the go getter mindsets, it's contagious, and it's really been beneficial to me. Seeing kind of getting their mindset a little bit, because through their coaching, you can kind of tell how they were as competitors, or even when they talk about stories about how they were as competitors, I think is really neat. And the way they approach things, it's been great to hear. And just having the legacy of Oklahoma State puts, I'd call it a positive pressure. Like, I'm going to go perform. I'm ready, and I can go perform because it's been, I don't know how many years OK State's been a program, but probably should know that. But we've been competing hard for 100 years or whatever, and there's been national champs. We've had guys, I can't think of his name. He was a national champ, went off, got drafted for war, went to war, came back and won another national title. And it's like, I have examples of that I see in the room every day hanging up. It's like, I can do this. So it's a really good pressure to have.
Yeah, and that's a heck of a point right there. Because I'll tell like our wrestlers, the wrestlers I work with, I'll say, look, we have to be thankful for the opportunity because it could be taken away at any time. We saw what happened with COVID recently, but even going back further, people being drafted for war. Well, when you have a program that's been around as long as Oklahoma State, there's actually examples, concrete examples of that. So that becomes then fresh in people's minds, at least. Hey, this is what other people have endured. Maybe I don't have it so tough.
Yeah, exactly.
That's great stuff, Dustin. So what do you have coming up within the next couple weeks, couple months? What's your plan?
Oh, just training, lifting, getting better at wrestling. I got a lot of positions I need to work on and a lot of different areas I want to get better at over the summer. So I'm excited for the opportunity to have, I got a plan ready to go and ready to start chipping away, picking my coach's minds and working at it. Other than that, finishing up my degree and going fishing as much as I can. So,
all right, two fun questions for you. So first, since you brought up candy, what are your top 3 favorite candies, if you had to pick?
Top 3 favorite, probably going sour gummy worms #1. Snickers #2. That's a staple. And 3, I'd maybe go. Gummy bears are all right too. They're not as good as gummy worms, but they're all right.
All right. If you could pick one wrestling move that just poof, now it's part of your arsenal, anything, what would it be?
Headlock, for sure. I need to develop a big move like that. Just some guys have the headlock and it's like they could be down by 12 and you're like still on the edge of your seat because he could throw it at any second. That or I don't know, it's got a lot of slang terms like a high flyer, gator bacon. There's a lot of guys that kind of live and die by that, but it's the same thing. They could be down by 14 and pin somebody.
And you're always in the match. Awesome.
Oh yeah, always.
Freestyle for you this offseason?
Yeah. I don't have any plans as far as competition schedule yet, but I'll be training it for sure.
All right, we're pulling for you, Dustin. Thanks a lot. Great stuff. We appreciate it.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
All right, take care. Bye.